This is Wayne Doble from the Funhouse, and you're listening to the Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, hermetically sealed Harley.
That is I, my friend. That's a good one, boy. You thought about that one.
I'm digging deep here. It's only been about 400 and some odd different nicknames have come up for you. I'm working at it.
I like that one. That's a fine one.
Sometimes they're very obvious, and why didn't you think of that before? Sometimes it's like, what?
What?
Yeah, so.
No, that's fine. Fine stuff, my friend.
Well, you know, Harley, we are professional amateur enthusiasts of humor.
Yes,
so
yes, very amateur.
We do our best early in the morning when we record this show. So.
As best as we can, right?
Yeah. We don't crawl into bed. Must be entertaining on some level. Can't do it. Must get up. Yeah. Mr. Ben Harley, we are in the throes of summer. I am in the space-time continuum. I am about ready to make my pilgrimage to Willow Creek, California. Yes, I'm hunting Bigfoot.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're going to be fine, buddy. You'll find them. I just want to know if you needed a guy to carry your bags or anything.
Well, maybe.
I'm a pretty good mule. I can help.
That's what I had a kid for, okay? All right. That's what I got a chance for, take him. So.
Damn that chance.
So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hunt Bigfoot. I think there's some Bigfoot enthusiast I might be hunting out there too as well. We'll see what happens there.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for some photos. You gotta get a photo with our friend.
Yeah, I got a couple
our good
people.
Friend.
I got a couple people out there, Mr. Ben Harley. I got a bookstore and a museum to go into and stock, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't know who listens to the show. I'm not going to say much more, much more than that. But we are going to Willow Creek. I don't know if I'll be going to actual Bluff Creek because. It's one of those
pretty deep.
Yes. It's one of those things that when people say they were hoaxing, it's kind of like, well, they could have picked a closer spot, like maybe 25 miles closer, and they still could have shot it, made it look like it was in the wilderness,
Yeah, then they could have sold tickets.
Yes. They didn't They didn't have to cast all the footprints.
Right.
Which clearly were made by something that was like 900 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Well, Timo, that would be nice for you guys to be able to do that, but I figured that might be a little tough.
It might
but
be.
You never know, Timo. If Bigfoot knows that you're there, he might just show up to see you.
He might invite me. He might say, hey, come on out, So.
I've heard about some of that great ape. I've seen stalking Bigfoot. Come on. Quit being stingy, Timo.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. I was texting with our good buddy, Mr. Danny Hicks. It's going to... meet us up there. I just said, I just said, be prepared to believe in Bigfoot. And he gave me a, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't be a wet blanket. Don't bring your wet blanket, right? Yeah.
I think I had my dad, who is a financial planner, so you can imagine how his finances are tightly woven to his person, and he was like, oh, that's where that Bigfoot's. He doesn't care about Bigfoot, and he's like, oh, okay. That's why I said, well, Dad, if it was hoaxed, why in the hell would they fall off of a horse with a rented camera? Now, as a financial planner, that one got him. He's like, whoa.
Did it? Nice.
Whoa, that's impossible. I don't understand that at all. That's losing money.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Why bother renting it? You got to pay for it anyway. That's like paying for it twice. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Summer's still rolling around.
And I'm not even going.
Summer's still rolling around. Shay has gotten her second mole out in the yard. Yeah. She fought with this one a little bit more.
Oh, really?
She toyed with it more. It got her a few times. It bit her a few times in the nose, but she was allowing it to happen. Yeah. Basically, she didn't really want to let this one go so quick.
That's funny.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff though going on with Ben Harley. Looking forward to my trip. How's your week been?
It's been pretty good, Timo. You know what? It's been pretty fun. A lot of things going on. I actually My daughter, Caitlin, my oldest daughter, Caitlin, is got proposed to.
Holy cow! Congratulations!
In the space-time continuum. So,
wow.
Yeah. So she was good about it. I think she threatened a few things, but he got the job done. So good. You know.
So I'm going to be a step podcast in law head.
Yeah.
Father.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! Where's my gifts at? I haven't gotten a card from anybody.
Well, they're in the mail.
All this work I've done for this. Come on.
It's a long ways to St. Louis, man.
It's true. That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yes, very happy about that. Very proud. You know, I still a little weird. I still feel like I'm about 15 or 16 years old. So that's a little odd. But, yes, he did the gentlemanly thing. He actually called me one morning, or had me call him, believe it or not. And he tricked me a little. And then asked for her hand in marriage, and I said yes, for sure. You know, and we talked, and I said, you know, I'd be very proud to have you as a son-in-law and stuff, and I wish you guys the best. And I said, now you have my blessing, but what about her? You know, so
right.
But Tim, I can only be serious for so long. So, but yes, so we had a nice little party afterwards, and they got engaged out at here, Maumee Bay State Park, which is out right on Lake Erie, and out by my favorite lighthouse, which I don't start too many sentences or conversations out with. My favorite lighthouse is, because that either puts people to sleep, or they step back from me, or they go crazy because they like lighthouses. But yes, it was really nice for them, a nice backdrop for the pop the question.
Right.
And, it was nice, Timo. So, yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, I don't think they have a documentary on the proposal of marriage to your daughter, Mr. Ben Harley, but if you look at Amazon Prime, I do believe there is a couple of documentaries on lighthouses on the Great Lakes and on Lake Michigan.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Yes, Tim, I have some trivia. That's the state that has the most lighthouses surrounding it is Michigan. Yes, out of the entire union. Yes. So, nice. I have to check that out. I'm very fond of lighthouses, you know, so.
I used to be until I saw The Fog. And I was like, I don't like lighthouses. First of all, I didn't know they were all radio stations. That's the first thing. You know, I didn't know they were that. And then I didn't know that old ghost pirates attacked them. So I decided to stay out of them, Mr. Ben Harley. I appreciate them. Yes. I like the way they look from afar. But I've had my fill of radio, and I've had my fill of ghost pirates coming after me.
Right, that's true. Well, I don't want to put anybody to sleep, so I won't talk too much about my fascination with lighthouses. But yes, actually, my mother's great uncle was a lighthouse man at Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, or light keeper. So that's one of the more famous lighthouses on the East Coast. So yeah. So there you go, Timo. Flash on, my friend. Shine on, right?
Yeah, that's
fascinating. What was the color concept? Yeah, what was the lights? What was the time signature? Boom. Yeah. So there you go.
Right. All right. Well, Mr. Ben Harley, let's see here. Let's get through some stuff that we have seen so we can get through this show and get to packing. Because I got to pack, and you got to mentally pack to be prepared for. You know, I don't take pictures. You're gonna have to message Angie or something to talk to her about it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm bad about it. Now, it's a couple of them I'm hunting. I think those are the only ones you really care about. But you know,
yeah.
But let's get through this, and we'll talk about about our official films. Let's get through what I watched. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's see here on Amazon Prime. Watched a movie called Dark Water. But when it was released, I believe this was a Sci-Fi Channel movie. When it was released, it was called The Kraken.
Ooh, The Kraken.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit of a giant squid octopus freak out. I don't really want to be, but it just keeps happening.
Hey, that's okay, buddy.
This got Charlie O'Connell in it, not Jerry O'Connell. The other one.
Darn it.
Okay,
the other O'Connell?
Yeah, the kind of goofier stunt double brother. That guy, isn't it?
That guy. Okay, I got you.
Carry on. Like a couple of these Kraken type movies I've seen, it starts off okay, but it gets old fast. Really. Yeah, kind of sinks into let's see here. From 1973, Mr. Ben Harley. Sure. Now, this movie was not only was this movie made in 1973, but so was I. So in 1973, that's right. A movie called Baffled.
Okay.
Starring Leonard Nimoy or Leonard Nimoy, depending on depending on where you like to throw your accents and names that no one really knows how to pronounce.
Right.
Yeah. It's like
Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, it's a TV pilot. We're old Leonard Nimoy. I'm gonna call him Nimoy. I like Nimoy. It's more fun.
I do too.
He's a race car driver who is suddenly psychic after a crash, and so he's
that
psychic,
sounds vaguely familiar.
where he knows where people need supernatural help.
Okay,
So
of course.
Sure. Yeah. It was a pilot that was going to be a television. Actually, it looked like it would have been an okay television series. To be honest,
that sounds a little bit. Yeah.
It's got Vera Miles in it and an old mansion just full of red herrings. Just full of them, the whole thing. I actually kind of liked it. I thought it wasn't too bad. I mean, for an old TV thing. Well, like the 70s and TV was a good time.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, I liked some of that weird, creepy stuff that was coming out. The low budget TV movies and stuff was interesting. This was kind of cool. Nimoy was like kind of doing not Spock.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's always
not to be Spock.
Well, he just wasn't. He was being more of a late 60s, early 70s hipster guy. You know, he was a little bit more. He's a little more loose. Put it that way. You know, a little more fun.
Yeah.
So not too bad. Really, not too bad. I didn't think it was that bad at all. Let's see here, Mr. Ben Hurley. Watched a documentary that we were just talking about a couple minutes ago before we started the show called Clockwork Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is basically a documentary, a little bit about the Orange County, the California music scene. We've got Circle Jerks, Black Flag. They have Jello Biafra on it, Keith Morris, Henry Rollins, Agent Orange, who I've played with, TSOL, who I've played with, DI. I might have played with DI. I don't know.
Okay.
I was almost the thing is, I think I was telling you this.
Legend.
I told you before, I was almost going to text Tim Jameson. Now, Tim Jameson doesn't like to be bothered a whole lot, and I can empathize with that.
I know a guy just like that.
So I really try not to bother anybody, but the whole time I'm like, did we play with these guys? I can't remember if we played with these guys, and I kept almost every other band, coming through there, but not too bad. Mostly it's a documentary about a club called the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, see, now I did start that one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, because it did remind me, there was a club here in town, right outside of town, called the Cuckoo's Nest, way back in the day, something like that. So that's what so I did remember. But yeah, I only got a little ways through it. It's not too bad.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's kind of like, yes, I do like that scene around in there, and then I always like the Washington D.C. scene. So there was like two scenes that were kind of my favorites, and those were my two favorites. Not that I didn't like bands from everywhere else, and stuff, but it just seemed like, I don't know. What the thing is you get comfortable with a record label. Like I got comfortable with SST, Alternative Tentacles, and then I got comfortable with Discord, and stuff like that. So you would start buying bands that were on certain labels. I mean, I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I'm just saying, like, for me, it was like, okay, when it came to punk rock, you couldn't exactly listen to the radio and hear the new Doggy Style record. This wasn't going to happen. So you had to go in there and kind of weed through it yourself. Yeah, which explains a lot of the mixtapes, that was going around,
floating around,
from person to person. So, but not a bad documentary. I kind of like this. Let's see here. Moving on.
Punk rock
from 1933. Angio and I
there's
watched,
another one in your wheelhouse.
Angio and I watched Mystery of the Wax Museum.
Oh, okay.
The original Wax Museum movie, which House of Wax is a remake of.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this has instead of Vincent Price, we have Lionel Atwill. Baby. And a little woman, little pretty lady by the name of Fay Ray.
Nice. Yeah.
And directed by Michael Casablanca Curtiz. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, nice.
Good flick.
All right.
Good flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a 2-strip Technicolor movie. Early color. Yeah, 1933. So pretty good. It's a special feature on the House of Wax Blu-ray that I have, believe it or not. So I like that when a special feature actually is a feature. That's another movie. I like that.
That's right. Yeah.
So good stuff. Now, people always kind of snicker I'm making that up actually because people don't walk into my house and snicker about this, but I do have the Day the Earth Stood Still remake proudly put in my Blu-ray collection, and I'm sure I'll get a look someday about that, and I'll say, well, a special feature happens to be the original one.
Yeah,
on there. So that's why I bought that sucker.
So, yeah.
All right, moving on, Miss Benner. Moving on.
Yes,
Got a riff tracks in there. We watched Samurai Cop.
Oh, that's awesome.
The one thing is, maybe it's so obvious.
Not much samurai.
No, there's not. But it's so obvious from shot to shot. He's going back and forth from his real hair to a woman's wig.
Yeah.
I mean, a woman's wig.
Thing of beauty.
I mean, in the middle of a punch, it goes back and forth, and the film stock changes too. I don't think they made enough about that. I mean, I'm sitting there going, come on, guys. It's part of the later riff tracks, Mystery Science thing I've noticed is that the jokes are faster and more plentiful, which doesn't always help. Yeah. And sometimes it feels like they want to make something a joke.
Yeah.
Instead of following the plot. Like, I like it more. I figured this out. Mystery Science Theater and riff tracks, I enjoy more when they're actually riffing on the plot, the characters, and the surroundings. When they see something and start making random jokes, it's funny. There's a couple times it's always funny. But sometimes they overdo that, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't even want to watch it anymore.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So, but anyway, they really think they could have made a lot more hay out of that.
That hair is all.
Well, what do you mean? He's got a hat with his hair coming out from under it.
Yeah.
And they're driving and it edits to a car shooting at him. It edits back to him. The hat's gone and he's got his real hair. They never even talk about it. And they don't talk about it. So anyway. But his African American partner,
he's got some facial expressions that are awesome.
He sure does.
Awesome.
Yeah. Dude's hard to kill too, let me tell you.
Oh, sure is. Yeah.
So not too bad. Let's see here. Moving on from 1980. Watched or 81. Looked like it was made in 80, maybe released in 81. This was the Mexican produced Mexican. It's not Mexican. It's all, English with American actors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Demonoid. Yeah. So this is about a demon hand that scurries about, possessing people and beating people up, pretty much, and grabbing their face and squeezing their face piece in two and stuff like that. So, it does sound great. It's all right. It's okay.
It's all right.
It's got Samantha Eggar in it and Stuart Whitman, who is just getting some liquor money. To do it, but it's okay. It's this movie is actually a little bit better than I thought it was back then. Probably because I miss movies from back then.
Sure. Okay.
So I'll watch it, but I know the first time or two I saw this, I'm closer to that era. I was like, I can do without this one. This isn't one of the great ones. I can do without it. So, but it was all right to watch. It kind of. I kind of just threw it on and just stuck with it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yes, sir.
Two movies I think you'll want to speak on just a little bit here. So I saved them here. First up from 1981, which is...
the best year in cinema.
That's right. Yeah. We watched Omen 3, The Final Conflict.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow.
Sam Neill.
It's been a minute since I've seen that.
Yeah. Sam Neill is Damien. Directed by Graham Baker, who did Alien Nation. I believe it or not.
Really?
So I think this movie is interesting.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I when I was a kid and saw this, I didn't get it. I did not like this movie back when I was a little kid. I needed more monster. I needed more
Damien.
I needed less adult horror. Let's put it that way. I don't like adult horror. I hate Rosemary's Baby. Let's put it to you that way.
Yeah.
And this was adult horror, but it had much more payoff than Rosemary's Baby. Much more. And it's not that different than the other films. I think the other thing too is I was having a hard time because he wasn't a kid anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's just an adult giving people dirty looks. and like buildings would fall on him, or lightning would strike him through the brain or something if he gave him a dirty look. And I forgot about the chanting music too and all that,
Oh yeah.
But I like this movie. As I've gotten older, I like it more and more and more, to the point where I think it's on par, I think, with the other films.
Okay.
I really do. Now, you said it's been a minute since you've seen that one.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I remember, I was really hip to it when I was younger, because that was another Showtime standard, when that came out, and it was a big deal. And I remember liking it, and I thought it was crazy because he's running for president and stuff like that. That I thought that was really. At that time, I wasn't into politics, Timo, but I thought it was really
good for you.
Spooky, yeah. And I wish I was back there again, but yeah, but very, I found it very spooky. But yeah, I'd love to go back and revisit that one.
Yeah, it was. I thought we reviewed it, but maybe I was wrong. That's why I watched it.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing that though. Yeah,
we'll have to do it. Maybe we'll do it here soon.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think the problem with the film was that when it was released, it was called The Final Conflict.
Yeah.
And it's called Omen 3 Final Conflict, but I don't think anybody realized, it was almost the opposite of Halloween 3, where people thought they were going to see a Halloween Michael Myers movie, and it was the opposite. With this one, they were going into a film called The Final Conflict, and I'm sure at least a couple people in the audience went, "Hey, Murray, remember them Omen movies? This is a ripoff. That guy's name is even Damien. Come on."
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, not bad. Let's see here. Last up, Mr. Ben Harley. Watched a movie. I didn't even write down the year because it doesn't matter. I do believe it was 91. I do believe it was 91. Watched a little movie called Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah, I never heard of that one.
Oh, really?
Fill me in. Yeah, fill me in.
It's a farm animal horror film.
Oh, okay.
Yes, with a maniac Australian shepherd running around biting the tongues out of baby sheep.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. No. Wait.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No. All right. Yeah. We all know what Silence of the Lambs is.
Yes.
Here's some interesting stuff, Mr. Ben Harley. I went and I saw this in a theater.
Yeah,
right?
me too.
When it came out, not after it was like what it is. When it came out.
Yeah, me too.
And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is a high camp movie. I mean, I thought it was very campy. I thought that Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter was kind of silly. It was kind of like, yes, agents, darling. It was just, now my problem with the movie is I could give, and I might have to, no, you know what? I don't have to turn in my horror card. I've built up enough hit points. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I could have cared less about the stupid Buffalo Bill story. I liked Hannibal Lecter and all that. And here's the other thing too. And Angie was, I don't know if she's buying into this with me, but I told her, I said, listen, I thought this movie was kind of homophobic back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back then even because it was like every person in this movie who doesn't put his person into a woman's entrance is just a flipping maniac. Just in this movie is just out of their skull. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And it's not that it offended me.
Are you offended?
No, this stuff doesn't. If I see something that might be ick, like homophobic, racist ick or something like that, I roll my eyes at it and go, well, that's stupid. Or I laugh at it because it's ridiculous. It's one of those things. So to me, I was like, I don't know. It just, not that I'm offended. I'm tired of it. How about that? I was tired of it. I was like, oh boy, here's another homosexual who can't help himself. He's gotta be a face ripping, skin peeling serial killer. Right? I mean, come on, he's got to be, so.
Why not?
Yeah. So there's just a lot of things about I don't hate the movie, but it was almost like, not like Shape of Water. I can't stand Shape of Water. Okay. I was shocked it won Best Picture and all that. I was like, what? What? Are you kidding me? Jaws didn't win Best Picture, and this thing wins Best Picture. You know? Not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a good movie. I like the Hannibal Lecter character. I like the thing between him and Agent Starling and all that stuff. I like it. I do. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's horror, and I don't think it deserves to be an Academy Award-winning film. Now, today it does. Today it does. Today it should win something. It should win 2 at one time for Best Picture and Best Picture.
And Best Picture?
Yeah, compared to what they're putting out now. But anyway, Angio mentioned it. She said she hadn't seen it for a while. So I was like, well, just throw it in. I haven't seen it for a bit. So not too bad, though. It's okay. You know, like I said, I don't think it's Best Picture. And I kept thinking about Magic.
Oh, yeah.
I kept thinking about Magic. Thinking, God, he didn't win for Magic and he won for this? For talking about Chianti and going like that, I'm like, that wins him an Oscar? Get my ass on screen right now and I'll act like a fucking idiot too. And let's see if I can get one on there. Yeah. I ate her toenails with a nice Merlot and a little bit of Boone's Strawberry Hill. You know, I was like, okay, great, super. Not too bad. We did it. We had a pretty good time watching that.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, it was okay. It's a decent movie though. It's just I got real into it when it was going to be about Hannibal Lecter, and as soon as it got to be about Ted Levine's, and Ted Levine's an interesting actor. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but when he squeezes his stuff between his legs, he's danced around. The only thing I kept thinking of was, would you stop acting like Axl Rose?
Oh. Man,
he was. He looked just like him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did. He did.
Listening to, I don't know, Bauhaus or something like that and acting like Axl Rose. Oh, well. Mr. Ben,
that really affected you.
No, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I think that movies get showered with praise that do not deserve it. And I think there's other reasons than them being deserved that they get the praise. I think people thought it was Anthony Hopkins' time and they found a role that was interesting and there's his Oscar. He needed that, baby. He needed that, baby. Because almost every, you ever notice, almost every classic actor, good actor, you know, if they don't win an Oscar out of the gates, it takes them a long time. It can take a long time. You know, so, you know, it is what it is, Mr. Ben Harley. But it was okay to watch. It wasn't too bad. It just sometimes it's like it's a good movie. I have normal issues with it, like I have with other issues. But for crying out loud, you know, what does that say about the Academy or movies that came out that year? I don't know. So.
No, buddy, I don't know.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah, actually, I kind of did. I did, and I did like the Buffalo Bill character.
Really? Okay.
I found him very odd. You know,
well, he sure is.
And I did like to put the lotion in the basket. I did like that.
Okay.
You know, I did like that. That was funny. I found that quite humorous.
Okay.
But well, I feel you though. I see where you're coming from, my friend.
Yeah. I just found it really intense when they had those two on screen. I thought it was fun and campy.
Yeah.
And it was intense camp. You know, and then it was. Gone. Then it was like, oh God. But oh well. What you got, Mr. Ben Harley?
Let me see here, Timo. All right, buddy. I've been watching a little show. This is the second season I'm in on now, called Six, and it's about the Navy SEALs, based out of Virginia Beach, which I enjoy because if it wasn't for Virginia Beach and or the military, I wouldn't be here. So that's a plus. So I got that going for me.
Yeah.
Not a bad little show. This is the second season. Pretty good. Now,
what is this?
I like
on?
most of
What?
This is a History Channel.
Really?
Show. Yeah. Yep. And it's just called Six, and it's about the SEAL Team 6, whatever. So, yeah, not too bad.
Is it drama or is it documentary?
Drama. Yes.
Drama. Okay, so it's actors portraying
and I guess it's slightly based on, you know,
true stories.
True stories. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Slightly.
Interesting.
I don't know though. Shh. I'm not.
All right.
I don't want any. I don't want any Navy SEALs coming up from the creek.
Lip sync ships, Mr. Benner. Like quiet. I'll have to edit this out. Quiet. Edit it out.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So not too bad. I forgot to mention it. Like I said, it's a lot of terrorist stuff. A lot of have Walter Goggins. I think that's how you say his name. Okay. He was in the first season. He's been. I don't want to give it away, so he's been in the second season a little bit. Ben Kenobi. So
gotcha.
He's a ghost.
Whoa.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, but I love his character. He's one of my favorite actors in the last, I'd say 15 years or more.
Oh, okay.
Really like him. So not bad, Timo. I mean, as far as television shows, you're not going to like it. So
no, I won't. No,
yeah.
no.
So there
but I'm
we go.
humoring you good here. I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, you're doing really good.
Yeah.
Now something here, Timo. We're gonna go with a little rock and roll route here. I was able the other night, last minute thing, went to see a little band called the Iron Maidens, not to be confused with Iron Maiden.
Right.
These gals are a little easier on the eyes. As much as I'm drawn to Dave Murray, I'm gonna say these girls are a little easier on the eyes.
Nobody's hotter than Nico McBrain. Come on now.
Oh, come on. I know. We're not going to go there.
Right.
Yeah. Or as tall, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, went to see the Iron Maidens. I've heard about these girls. I should probably say I heard about this band for a little while, and they are an Iron Maiden tribute band.
Okay.
And they're what I've seen, I quite enjoyed. I thought was pretty cool, and so I decided to go check them out. And I must say, I had a way better time than I thought. I had an absolute blast, and they're really good, really good. And it's nice to hear a lot of those songs live.
Right.
Unless you're going to see Iron Maiden, which is hard sometimes. They don't come around as much as they
they
used
sure
to.
don't, but they can fly themselves here, which is nice.
Exactly. So. But yeah, I had a blast. They were really good. It was funny. A guy that I grew up playing hockey with, he had like a set list. He's like showing me, and I was like, yeah, it looked okay. It looked like kind of a trip through Iron Maiden history.
Sure.
And I apologize, and I'll apologize to Iron Maiden. I started about somewhere in time is where I kind of started to not follow them as closely, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, and I'd seen them a number of times live and things like that. And I love Iron Maiden. I absolutely love Iron Maiden. It's a big influence on me, my art, as far as, Derek Riggs and all that stuff. So, but yeah, these girls though, Timo, just pounded it out. And that set list that he showed me was not the set list they played. Oh. And it was just good. I mean, great. And we'll have to say they did not play Run to the Hills, which was kind of weird, but that's okay. That's all right. And they did, they finished with Iron Maiden and they did play Phantom of the Opera. And those were like pretty much the only two Diano era songs they did. But overall, it was really good. Now, I got a couple guys upset about because I said that girl actually sounds better than Bruce Dickinson.
Oh boy!
I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man.
Hey, he's a better pilot. Come on, I mean,
I like Bruce Dickinson, and I'll give him credit because a lot of times the stages those guys play on are about the size of an airport, or you know what I mean? They're huge.
Yeah.
They're humongous, you know what I mean? So he's running around, he's doing all this stuff. But I've always felt that his best voice was back in the 80s. It hasn't been, you know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't make any friends over that, but whatever.
First of all, are the Iron Maidens, are they from your parts or are they
they're from LA, I guess.
They're from LA. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I've heard the name. I don't know much about them. Yeah, Iron Maiden for me, believe it or not, and Motorhead. And there's a couple other bands too that I appreciate. A couple tunes I like. Motorhead, but I never got into them. I never hated them. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. I never wanted to buy a record. I have never bought an Iron Maiden record. Okay. I've bought one. I bought one Motorhead record. It was Eat the Rich. And not a bad one. Yeah. So besides that, I have a couple of their cherry picked.
You need to pick up Bomber.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of these bands cherry picked hits. That's a bit, and I admit that I am one of those people with those two bands. Now, if I got an opportunity to see them play, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. I think I'd enjoy watching them play a lot more. And the thing is, too, Maiden is a really good band with good players in it too.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't think they needed 3 guitar players because it seemed like you got that one guy, then they brought back Adrian Smith, and they're like, well, we feel bad, we don't want to get rid of this guy, so they kept him. I'm like,
he got the good lead. That's why.
Yeah, so exactly. But whatever. Yeah. Nice. But no, I had an absolute blast, and they just blew it down. Had a great time. Knew a lot of people there that warmed up for them and stuff, so I knew a lot of, and it was nice for a Wednesday night heavy metal show. It was pretty nice to see the crowd that was there.
Oh,
and
good.
So they went over really nice, and they went on at 20 till 10, which is perfect for a guy like me. So I didn't bring my blanket or pillow with me.
They got that over the dwarves, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah. So good time, Timo. Mm-hmm. All right, buddy. I'm gonna stick with some rock and roll. I'm only gonna get on my high horse for a little bit here. I'm gonna try not to. But yeah, I did watch. I've had this for a little while. It was a Elvis documentary. And I think I might have got it off. Oh crap! Accident. Who knows, Timo, where I got it? You never know. So no, it's Elvis, like behind closed doors.
Okay.
Documentary really is pretty good. It goes from pretty much just all the way from the start to the finish. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it was told through people who were friends of his or ex-girlfriends and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. Not many of his doctors, let's put it that way. Right. None of them were...
His pharmacist didn't make an appearance or anything?
None of them were found. Yeah, none of them were able to return any phone calls.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Or to be reached by phone, let's just say.
Right.
Yeah, really good documentary though, Timo. And I enjoyed it, and like I said, me, I'm a Elvis homer for the most part. I enjoy the Elvis mystique too. I thought, he was I think he took a lot of arrows for a lot of people and opened the doors for a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying he didn't profit by any means or, mm-hmm. but I don't think all of it was based on, he stole the black man's music or he did this or that. No, the guy pretty much put together a pretty good combination of different styles of mm-hmm. music, which ended up coming out and being something a little bit different, what I mean? But it was really cool. I found out a lot of neat different things about him, that I didn't. It was had Wink Martindale on there and good old Pat Boone talking, uh-huh. who were pretty close to him and stuff. So nice documentary. One thing, I came out of it thinking, it's like with him that sets him apart, whether I'm an Elvis fan or not, which is undeniable, is the fact that guy did crossovers like nobody. I mean, mm-hmm. You think about it nowadays, and even 25 years ago, not many people did that, mm-hmm. much less 40 years ago, when, the guy conquered, rock, R&B, country, gospel. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think he did, the guy's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's in the R&B Hall of Fame, but he's in the Country Hall of Fame and the Gospel Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Not many people did that either. You know what I mean? Right. And I think... watching this documentary, you get a little bit better feeling for him as far as probably pretty lonely fella, uh-huh. And as far as I think he had a lot of hanger-oners that were his good friends and stuff. And it kind of came across too, like, I can imagine why he couldn't be married for too long. Like, that house was just full of a bunch of his buddies and stuff, man. Mm-hmm. It's not a home style life. I couldn't even deal with that. You know what I mean? And I like stuff going on, but who wants to live like a fraternity?
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, or even not even just that, but just having all these people around.
I kick people out of my hotel room at 9 o'clock these days.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can imagine that was a hard thing for him, but the whole drug abuse thing and stuff. A lot of that was just it was bad for for him. But I can only imagine the stuff he did. And then if you want to also talk about movies, the guy conquered movies. An Elvis movie was a guarantee for a long time, but the guy never really got to do anything he really wanted, except that he had the chance to do that Star is Born, which I even remember from a kid being a big fucking deal, mm-hmm. like, you put Chris Christopherson in there instead or whatever, but but I did enjoy it. It was really good. It didn't make me super, super sad at the end. You come out of it thinking, hey, the guy had his stardom and stuff, but I think he struggled with that and the fact that his mother dying young and
mm-hmm.
he didn't really have that guy couldn't walk down the street. You know what I mean? Oh. He couldn't. The guy couldn't. You know what I mean? Still can't.
Elvis impersonators again stopped. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, real cool documentary. It was nice. It was cool to see like some of the behind the scenes stuff and kind of get more of an intimate, look at him a little bit too, and some really cool footage and stuff. Not much music, mm-hmm. which I think they could add a little bit more of that in there. Would have been
some of those documentaries. They don't use any of the original music because they don't have the rights to them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So, or it's going to cost them a pretty penny.
Right. So they find some old stuff or something that fell into public domain or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Or they something that sounds rockabilly-ish and throw it in the back.
Yeah, right. Something that's they play the song backwards basically and put it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. right, Timo. Last but not least, a very nice surprise. Yesterday, I was at the house and I was going through Netflix, hanging out with Zoe and Ruby. And I don't know if you remember a little show called Danger Mouse.
Oh, God, you kidding me? I got that on DVD.
Do you not like that, Timo? Is that one?
Sure
it's a funny show. So I was going across Netflix and I saw Danger Mouse. I got all excited and I got real excited. And I'm like, oh, Danger Mouse. Hey, Zoe, look, Danger Mouse. I'm trying to tell her. And she's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know, Zoe, look, nah, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, yeah, I put it on and I'm like, oh, well, it's a remake, a redo. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Now, Timo, I'm going to show my nerd card. I am a Powerpuff Girl fan. Powerpuff Girls. Love Powerpuff Girls. Oh, the original Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess it was a little different. Yeah.
Hilarious. Hilarious. The Gang Green Gang, Timo. Mojo Jojo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nope.
Fuzzy Lumpkins.
Yep.
Anyway.
I know what you're talking about, though.
So they just did a redo of that. No. Not happy. So going into this one, I was like, man, I'm not really sure. The first, I hate to say this never happens. It started slow. But I'm to tell you what, Timo, after about the first 5 or 10 minutes, I watched that episode. They were only like 19 minutes. And I watched 2 more after that. Awesome. Absolutely hilarious. I was like, you know what? This guy, whoever did it, gets it. It's a little bit different, a little, more modern, but funny. Oh, man, I was like, this is actually really good. And it made me happy, because a lot of these cartoons that are come out, and trust me, I watch a lot with my daughters and stuff. A lot of them I don't like. And it's not like the art's not good and stuff, but some of the stories are just a lot of, and I hate to be like this because I liked Ren and Stimpy and things, but Ren and Stimpy kind of changed stuff where things became fart noises and gross stuff that just wasn't funny. It was just there,
Right. Well,
Ren and Stimpy made it funny.
They did, and that was writing because when remember when Spike TV first came out, it was the Nashville Network, and then it became Spike. And one of the very first things that they were going to use for original programming, one was a Pam Anderson barbed wire show. The other one was the new Ren and Stimpy, and I got real excited. I loved Ren and Stimpy. But they got rid of that original guy. Well, and it was just over the top. It was almost like a mimic of that show where it was just a fart and gross out noises. And the other show was written funny. But I agree with you that it seemed like cartoons either became like preachy moral stuff or just completely farts and gross. There was, like Bugs Bunny was neither one. Bugs Bunny was just like, look, we're animals and we're going to attack each other. That's what we do. We're animals, And
it's just like dry humor sometimes that might be over the kids' heads, but kind of ripe for the adults. But this was good. Like, I was so pleased. I was like tickled. I was like, wow, because I went in kind of with low expectations. I loved Danger Mouse. It was me and one other guy like in high school that really used to watch it, and we'd talk about it in school, And the guy still calls me Baroni from Danger Mouse 35 years later.
I've got the whole series on DVD. I got that and Hong Kong Phooey.
That a boy.
I do.
Hello, Sarge. Yeah, that away, Tim.
Harley's getting his car coming back to Dermal Ridge. He's like, I wasn't coming, but now he's got not only Danger Mouse, but Hong Kong Phooey. Oh, no.
We're going to sit in that sunroom and we're going to watch Danger Mouse. But very, I mean, if you get a chance, maybe check it out. It's on Netflix, or I'm sure you can find it somewhere, Timo. I know you. You're good. I think you and Chance might really enjoy it because the humor's funny. It's actually, some of it I was like, I haven't really laughed out loud much lately, even watching some of the riff tracks, which I've enjoyed, but this actually had me kind of chuckle out loud a few times. I was like, wow, that's good. Thank you. Thank you, Danger Mouse. So, so if you get a chance, check it out, buddy. I think you'd enjoy it. So that's it, though, buddy. That's it. That's
it for me. Let's get to our official little films, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, buddy.
All right. First up from we're going to go in chronological order this week. So first up from 1989, we have the Roger Corman produced The Terror Within.
Terror Within.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get out movie guy here and give you a short storyline synopsis. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah.
In the aftermath of a chemically induced plague that wipes out most of the world, the only survivors are a small group of scientists trapped in a laboratory 500 feet below the ground in the Mojave Desert. But they're not alone. The Terror Within stars Academy Award winner George Kennedy, Cool Hand Luke, Andrew Stevens, The Fury, and Terry Treese, The Nest. Okay.
Okay.
This movie, I remember when it came out on VHS because I don't believe it was actually technically direct to video.
Okay.
But in most normal human society, it was. I think it might have played at a drive-in somewhere, like off the beaten path, a few places and things like that.
Okay.
But this was right when that was okay because they're going to make their money back with the video anyway. Roger Corman knew what the hell he was doing. That's for sure. I mean, this is a guy who sold his company to somebody going, what? We want to buy your company. Okay. So he sold them words and then just renamed his company and kept moving forward. But he just made a quick million off it or something. Yes, we do have Andrew Stevens from The Fury and various other things, especially around this time period. He was kind of a B-movie guy. Learning his chops, he became a fairly successful producer as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. George Kennedy, enough said. He was on the Concorde flying that fucker in airport 79. We like him.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So this is another Alien type ripoff.
Yes.
Movie or whatever. So now, did you see this back in the Showtime / VHS days at all?
No, and
really?
It's funny, Tim. I recognized this one from the cover, but this was one I never actually got. So,
Gotcha. Yes. I did, and the funny thing is, believe it or not, I searched out this movie because I remembered it and hadn't seen it since probably 1990 or something like that.
Okay.
I'm like, man, I remember there being a monster in it. I remember this. I remember that. So I'm like, God, it can't be that bad, can it? I'm going to hand it off to you now.
Yes, it can. Oh, Timo, yeah, this one's a stinker.
Yeah,
man.
it is.
I didn't feel as bad for George Kennedy in this one as the one. What did we review just recently that he was in? Actually, no, I watched the text version. Oh, God, yeah.
Uninvited with the cat.
So I didn't feel as bad. Did not feel as bad. So anyways, this movie's it's not fun. Like, I kind of got excited because like these two guys are out in the desert, and they're out like, cause they've lost touch with like what their sister, site, which is whatever, 800 miles away or 1800 miles away. So these guys are out like searching around and they see some buzzards and then they go over and you don't see anything happen to them, but you can hear them on the radio as they're talking back to the base.
Right.
And they're like, gargoyles, and I like gargoyles, Timo. I thought, oh man, we're in for it.
Yeah.
We got wings and gargoyles. Yeah, we're going to, no. Well, so they go out in search of those two guys.
Well, right. So it's post-apocalyptic and they're like in an underground bunker and they're
bunker. Yeah.
Well, it's an underground research facility. That's probably a better term for it. But go ahead.
Yeah. And so basically they're out in search for the two guys that had went out scouting or whatever. They still can't get a hold of the other base. They find a woman running wild and they bring her back to the base. But because she has not been affected by the plague or whatever, but yet she's pregnant, right, Timo? She's pregnant?
It's turning people into monsters, basically. Whatever the wiped out humanity.
Yeah. So they got that going for them. So they bring her back to the base and she's pregnant and then she has a gargoyle baby.
Right.
But it's not really a gargoyle.
No.
It doesn't have wings, so I don't consider it a gargoyle. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to have to go back and learn my gargoyle lore.
Right.
But
and that scene, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm going to anyway. But that scene is lifted straight from Alien. It's a belly burst scene, not a chest bursting scene. Yeah. The whole movie, the problem is it wants to be more than it is or even could be.
Yeah. Sure,
and here's the other thing too. Let's see, what is this? 93 minutes long.
Yeah,
I think it's at least 20 minutes too long. At least.
Oh yeah,
20 minutes. There is. It's a good idea. An Alien ripoff is always a good idea.
Oh sure,
it really is. You can do a lot with that, and a lot has been done with it. That's been pretty good. Leviathan, for instance, some of the underwater movies. Those are really good Alien ripoffs. I think. I mean, they're really, really good. But the problem is this, it's a clunky movie, and the way it's shot and the way it just feels slow. Many
awfully slow.
So many walking around the desert scenes, and so many walking down hallways in the research facility scenes.
A lot of talking.
It's painful.
Yeah.
And there's way too much Andrew Stevens and not enough of George Kennedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, and it's well, the thing is, there's the part. Yeah, like I said, the part with the bursting scene.
Right. Yeah.
The belly bursting scene.
Yeah.
Like there's the group of them that are in there inside with the woman, you know, and the doctors or nurses, you know, garb on and stuff. And then there's the guys out there watching, and they're like not even affected by it. They're like just stand there watching, like you'd be watching. I've seen guys more affected by a real pregnancy without a bursting or anything like that, more affected than these guys were. They just stood there. Yeah. I'm thinking, wait a second, maybe I was like, maybe that's a bad shot or something. I don't know. But the movie, just to me, that's how I felt about the movie. Like, I guess I felt like those guys watching this movie, I was unaffected. I was
right. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just the movie. I don't know. But it just, by the time the gargoyles got to cooking, they didn't do a whole heck of a lot, but they did pull off. They you know, that like their humanoid brethren, they wanted to mate, and they tried, right? You know,
right.
So, but that was even clumsy looking, Timo. So I don't know. The whole thing was just kind of clumsy to me. And now you said with Alien, there's that scene with the bursting through the belly. You know, they had the like walking down corridors, like looking around corners.
Yeah,
that whole thing was like, oh my God.
That
like,
killed it. That killed it. And there was like, it was almost as if they were trying to find ways to generate suspense.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening. I mean, it just was not happening. Now, I kind of remember that from when it came out, but boy, I don't remember that bad. You know, I was like, oh my God, you know, here's the thing of note to me in my memory banks from back then for this movie was that it was directed by phonetically I don't know exactly how to pronounce this guy's name. It looks like Thierry Notes, but I'm going to say Terry Knotts. Okay. And he directed Watchers 2. Not Watchers. Okay. Remember Watchers with Corey Haim in it? That's a great movie. It's a great Corman. One of the good Corman movies, postmodern, I guess, you know, like really good Corman movies. Well, he directed Watchers 2, starring not Corey Haim, but Mark Singer, Beastmaster. Okay, so he's the same director, and I do remember when I saw Watchers 2, being like, this is like a cheaper version of, you know, Watchers, but I watched it, and also remember thinking, wait a minute, that's not the monster from Watchers, that's the monster from The Terror Within.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that Corman and his company got a lot of use out of that monster costume that you saw going around. And
they might have, because it was awful.
Yeah, it was the movie was like, this is something with these movies from this time period. It's like the lighting, and you know, they don't have a lot of time to set up some interesting looking shots. So it's kind of not static shots, but they're sort of point and shoot kind of movies and stuff. And I do like that if you know where to point it and how to shoot it really good and light it. You know? But no, it's just, it's too like bright. Everything was too bright. Everything was right in frame, and it just wasn't. And it just looked so rubbery monster that it was like, I mean, it didn't make me. The sets too
weren't really nice to be lit that well, you know. And you didn't really get the feeling of like, I don't know. I didn't feel like the post-apo. I didn't at first. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, what are they doing down here? Was this a water treatment plant or something?
Well, they certainly had compressors from a music and audio engineering thing. It was those compressors, and I saw a couple EQs, so they could definitely mix a record down there. I'm not sure they could save humanity. You know, but you know, I like George Kennedy. Andrew Stevens is in some fun stuff. You know, it is what it is. But I just, and Corman, of course, you know, he's up and down like everything else. You know, but we always watch his movies. But I really was surprised how much I did not like this. Like, I didn't think I was going to love it, but I just remembered it with a couple fond little memories. And I don't know what those memories are anymore because I didn't see anything in there. Now, there was another movie that came out around the same time called Shadow Zone. And I don't know if you remember that or not, but it had a similar...
It's the same monster?
No, it didn't have the same monster, but it had... I'm going to have to track it down. We're going to have to review that movie.
Okay.
It was a little bit more ambitious than this turkey was. So, But I think I get parts of Shadow Zone in this movie confused. And it probably has more to do with the times that these movies came out than anything else. So this movie is going to get a resounding from me. How about you?
Yeah, Tim, I give it up. Well, you know what? No, I got to save something. So, I'm going to give it a pretty big thumbs down. Big, but not I can't poop on it quite yet. I'm saving that. Oh, I'm saving. Right. I'm saving
Jesus
that.
Christ, okay.
I'm saving that.
It's too bad to poop on. I wouldn't put my turds on that. It's so awful.
It's awful.
All right, let's get to our next.
I'm saving.
Let's get to our next official film, Mr. Ben Harley, from the year 2000. We have the Toby Hooper directed film Crocodile.
Crocodile, yes.
Let me get you a little story synopsis here. Here we go.
Okay.
A group of teenagers take a houseboat down a river, unaware that a giant menace is lurking in the water beneath it. When they find a nest full of eggs, too large to be those of an alligator, the terror begins. The giant saltwater crocodile comes searching for its eggs and attacks the boat, killing the teens one at a time.
That'd be it.
Jaws, anybody? Yeah. So it is. Teens get on a riverboat, big boat. They're having fun, partying, doing what kids do.
Kids do,
right? So they're out there partying and stuff, and they screw around with a nest full of big eggs. Just annoyingly mess around with them. And it doesn't make a crocodile very happy. So a crocodile finds a clever way to unhook their boat and have it float down the river. And they're lost. And there's a pissed off crocodile after them because they are... This would have been much better had it been hidden. But they were carrying around one of the eggs. Okay, so one of the young guys, as a joke... What a funny joke. Puts one of the crocodile eggs in the one girl who doesn't want to be there, basically. Puts it in her backpack. And it's the only piece of luggage or personal items that is saved throughout the entire movie. They start with the boat and they end up with little shorts on. And a backpack. And that's about it. Running away from a crocodile. They didn't have to show the guy put it in the bag, right? I mean, it could have been a little bit of a twist. Give me something here. This was definitely a Toby Hooper for hire movie. This is no Toby Hooper classic. Now, in fairness, and Toby Hooper has directed some of our favorite films, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I even really liked the Toolbox Murders, the quasi remake, which is, I don't see any remake about it, of the old Toolbox Murder. I thought that was a real good movie. Of course, we love the Funhouse. Poltergeist is great. Yes. Texas Chainsaw goes without saying. But he's not perfect. It seems like he would make a good movie and a stupid movie, or something like that. And this is not one where I think Toby left holding his head high. He might have been holding his wallet high to buy a house or something like that. Yeah, but he was
heavier, but
not doing that. So, Mr. Ben Harley, no, seriously though, have you seen this? Because I've seen this a few times. I've seen anything twice.
And I know of this movie. I've heard of it or whatever, but I'd never watched it or never came across it. I think I might have on Chiller Theater. What the heck? Not that. What's the one channel? Oh crap.
It's Thriller, Chiller.
Yeah. Chiller? One of those maybe. Yeah, Chiller at one point maybe, but Timo. This is me. I like giant.
Aquatic creatures,
run amok. ever since the creature of the Black Lagoon, you know. Right. So, and Godzilla, so the list goes on and on. I happen to be a big fan of Chainsaw Massacre, big fan of the Funhouse, big fan of Poltergeist, but, got to put the Funhouse and Chainsaw way up there, but yes, I was excited, I said, Tobe Hooper, one of my favorite horror directors, doing one of my favorite genres. I was just as giddy as a little schoolgirl, and I was so excited about watching this. And then I started watching it, and I kept thinking, it's going to get a little bit better. It's going to get better. And I think I texted you. I was probably I think I was a halfway through. It just seemed like it because it was a long time, but I think I was only about 25 minutes or so in. And I think I texted you saying, are you sure this is a Tobe Hooper film? And I couldn't think of a good name to rhyme with Toby. So I think I said Scoby Hooper, but I don't know.
Toby Stooper? What?
Yeah. Was it his, like, I don't know. So yeah, Timo, that did not sit well with me the whole time I watched it. So, and my thing is, it's an awful movie. This movie to me is just awful. The acting is awful. The effects or lack of effects are really awful. It had a couple good, some of who's the gentleman? I'm sorry, Timo, you'll know him. The gentleman that played the police officer, the sheriff.
I don't know that guy's name, but he was.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of.
I think he was in Saving Private Ryan as the older guy. I think that's who he was. I'm pretty sure. I think you
might be right, my friend.
He's a character, a little bit minor character actor in a couple big movies.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it together. No. Like I said, and I told you, I think my favorite character in the movie was Princess, the dog. But I'm going to have to take it back. I'm going to have to say the boat. I really did enjoy the boat in the film. It was kind of like a houseboat pontoon thing. And I could see me living the rest of my life or days out floating around on that thing
aimlessly
like these morons. But all that being said, I was I was hoping for a giant alligator to come out of my toilet at one point. I was so depressed with this film. Yeah, Tim, I don't know. I just did not like this. And then, I tried and I was trying. And there's a couple Jaws things, blah, blah, rip off, but whatever. I'm so numb to that anymore. I don't even care. Yeah. Because they brought in some guy with a shotgun who was supposed to be like a Quint character who was avenging his grandpappy and his daddy's death. Yeah. And then by the time he got to the chance to avenge their death, he had a little pop gun that looked like something not even Billy the Kid, but I don't know, somebody that came over in the 1600s would have used. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't even know why you would have used a gun like that. Anyway,
that guy's skin was 1/3 lard.
Yeah, and he lasted about 30 seconds. Yeah. His quest to avenge his family's, So the crocodile was supposed to be pretty damn old as well. Yeah. But Tim, I was holding out hope, a little hope until this crocodile that moved at the pace. Actually, that dog was 10 times faster than this crocodile throughout the whole movie, except for like when it would eat someone, it would go by so fast you never even saw it. And I can understand why.
Well, no, in fairness, isn't that basically how they move on the water?
Yeah, but I can see a crocodile when it snaps. You couldn't see that, but yeah, it slowly moved in the water.
Yeah, but they showed it too long. They should have edited it quicker.
Well, this is what I'm getting to. It moved so slow throughout the whole film, and then all of a sudden, this thing took a 20-foot leap.
Oh yeah,
in the air over the boat, and then went into the water. And I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't this thing could have done that? First off, I would have knocked that boat over a long time ago. Yeah,
it's no Lake Placid.
No, it's not even. It's not. Oh my God! Like I have seen better films on a pond, Timo. I was very disappointed in this. I think I sent you a message saying that Tobe Hooper should be ashamed. Ashamed because tell me you're telling a guy like me who likes the things that I do that Tobe Hooper's going to be doing a crocodile movie. That keep a guy like me awake at night. And then I see that. It's still going to keep me awake at night.
Now,
don't Timo, don't you? No, you can no. I
was going to say in fairness.
Can't defend this.
No, I'm not. In fairness, he also did Eaten Alive.
Yeah.
Which is that awful. And I'm sorry, folks. I know that movie has a following. It's terrible. That's a terrible movie. It's either a gator or a crocodile.
Yeah.
That he's feeding people to. So it's kind of like the movie Pigs or something where it's just a crazy farmer, crazy guy, and he feeds people to his animals and stuff. And that was terrible. I mean, I'm honestly, that movie was at least as bad as, I mean, in my opinion, I was shocked when I saw it the first time, thinking, God, he went from Texas Chainsaw to this. But then I thought about it, I was like, well, Texas Chainsaw is a accidentally great movie. And I mean, no disrespect. Yes,
I know.
I mean, no disrespect to John Dugan or Fred or those guys. They did a good job, but really, the odds of all those people doing that good of a job were really slim to none. You know, and they did it, and they caught lightning in a bottle. And this is just the thing that I'll tell you what. This is the cardinal sin, Mr. Ben Harley, of movies. This movie gets boring. The useless love triangle really slows things down for no damn reason at all. The acting is just over the top. I swear to you, if both of my kids would not have been, and you know my house setup, both my kids are kind of underneath me. Like when I'm up there, if my kids, I would have stood up with the NGO standing there just to get some entertainment value out of it and looked at the TV and went, "Stop screaming at each other!" These motherfuckers. It's like, animals can hear you, right? Shut up. I mean,
that's what I was thinking, man.
Screaming at each other.
Any louder. But it was so funny because they're like creeping along, but still screaming at each other. I don't know.
The thing is, the only good thing, and it really didn't capitalize off of this, is that it doesn't take itself serious. Well, that's a good start, because that can make a fun movie, but it just got boring. It got, at the same time, it's not taking itself seriously. It's like, if you're not taking yourself seriously, don't put a serious part in the movie. Don't put the love triangle nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that in there. And of course, and this is kind of painful, I think you might have seen this, but the ass clown in the movie, the Jerky McJerky, how the hell does that guy survive through the whole movie? But the Jerky McJerkinen guy actually grabs a big chainsaw, and I just put my face palm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, Jesus, Toby, no. The main guy, Mark McLaughlin.
Oh,
you think he's ever seen Tom Cruise like in the mirror? The guy wanted so bad to be Tom Cruise. He was stealing all his acting chops,
which is
everything. Look, here's the thing. It's heavily cliche ridden. I mean, just cliches everywhere. Really annoying characters. I have to admit, though, I did have a little fun watching some of them get eaten. I was like, oh God, get that guy. They're screaming at each other. That's one less voice. Get him off of it or whatever. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. When this came out, I forgave it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it came out in 2000. And the only thing you saw in the year 2000 were really bad CG ghost movies. That's it. Slow, mild, ancient murder mystery, like gothic murder mysteries in the guise of a supernatural piece of crap. And that was all that was coming out. That was it. And then this movie came out, even on DVD or whatever. And I actually went with it, was like, okay, this is all right. Because I hadn't seen one.
Sure.
I mean, the ripoffs, they were, everything you would see was made for Sci-Fi Channel. This was not made for Sci-Fi Channel. The effects was K&B. That was Berger, Nicotero, and Kurtzman. The Evil Dead guys, the Walking Dead guys. That's who did that's who did the practical effects. Don't ask me about the digital. But I even like the fact that they did digital and practical together. I think that's the way to do these things. And when you can't do it practically, throw a quick little snip of CG in there to fool the eye. I think that works amazingly well. So they had all that potentially going for them. Now, when I saw this the first time, like I said, I forgave it. Thought, I've seen worse. And I have seen worse, by the way. But it was like, I've seen worse like that. Now, watching it the other night, because I'm going to tell you right now, it was fucking horrible. But personally, I thought The Terror Within pissed me off more. I thought The Terror Within was worse. And I thought
I think it's the worst movie. I just think, for me,
you're more offended by Crocodile.
Timo, the only thing that makes me forgive this film is that I picture Toby Hooper sitting inside that cool kick-ass float-a-majiggy inside there, doing bong hits and telling everybody else what to do.
Yeah,
and didn't film a lick of it. Then I will, and maybe he was sunbathing at the time. I don't know,
right?
Because whatever he was doing, he was baked, and this movie's half baked and awful. Answer me
this. Do you think? Because I kind of think this. I think the movie would have been a lot better if they would have stayed on the boat. I think the movie would have been a lot better if it was attacking the boat. And
it's funny that boat came down like a fucking it was made of balsa wood.
Yeah, because the boat was cool.
The alligator attack it.
Yeah, the boat was cool. I was like, I was into it when the boat, even when the gator bit the guy off the dock and got the boat dislodged from the dock.
Yeah,
I kind of liked that. It was really quick, so it didn't bother me. I kind of liked it. That was a good moment where the boat just starts slowly floating away.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of a good moment. And it's not like every little second of this is the worst thing you've ever seen. It's just that everything being equal, it's so disappointing. And it's just like, there's so many things that are annoying, like really annoying. Like, Taylor would think it's boring. It just gets, which is a cardinal sin. We always talk about the cardinal sin of a B movie is boring. All right. Yeah. B does not stand for boring. It shouldn't. Okay. And with this one, it's like, it's not that as much as annoying. It's like, oh man. And it's like with the crocodile, it doesn't look bad, but just quit staring at it. The camera just hangs on it where it's slowly going down the river. It's like, you don't need to show it that long. You're padding the movie. When you're padding the movie, here we go, Mr. Ben Harley. It just dawned on me. Both of these movies pad it out with the monster. Yeah. They pad the movie out with the monster, and the monster is just, there's no reason for it. The Terror Within monster does not hold up at all. And the crocodile one, the more you see it floating, the more you remember it's not real.
Right.
It doesn't look bad. It's not that. It just doesn't, you just know it isn't real. So it's like, God.
It moves about as slow as the shark from Jaws 4.
Right. And I can kind of forgive it because they don't, in the water, they can stalk like that. Well, in the water, they can stalk like that. So I can forgive that, but I can't forgive the fucking editor.
It never moved, though. It never moved any faster unless it came to snap on someone, which it did snap that kid on the dock. And it's funny, if it would have done that with the force that it didn't even leave no blood, or the dock wasn't even like snapped. Like it wasn't even, it looked like someone
like a bite of a cupcake.
Like exactly. And I'm like, you know me, Timo. That's when I start like losing out on. I'm like, oh God.
It just depends. If the movie's fun, I'll take any nonsense.
Yeah, this wasn't fun. But no, yeah, I know.
No, it wasn't. It was annoying. Fun. The characters were annoying, and just stop screaming at each other. I mean, everybody was screaming at each other. And it's just like, you're not going to get anywhere. Just scream. I don't know. It was bad. So, Mr. Ben Harley, Crocodile is going to... Now, that's 2 poops for me this week.
Yeah. Well, Timo, I've been saving it up. So, for Crocodile for me. Yeah.
You sharted.
Whoa. Yeah. I shake it out my leg. It's so bad. I'm sorry. Because, I like, well, I'm not going to say it again, but I do. I love these movies, and I just don't. I was heartbroken. So
we're going to do Crocodile 2 for next week? Because that's also on Prime.
It's got to be. Well, as long as Toby Hooper didn't do it, I'll probably feel better.
No, he didn't direct it. Yeah. I've seen both of them.
I'll go for it.
I've seen both of them, but it's
disappointed to say the least. Sad.
And I don't.
It made me sad.
I know I've seen. As a matter of fact, I have both these movies on DVD. I don't remember Crocodile 2 as much as Crocodile. Crocodile I remember because I watched it a couple times. Now, that's the last time. I'm never going back and watching this piece of turkey again. I mean, I can't. Terror Within is really disappointing to me because I went out of my way and found it and bought it and everything, and like, oh God, really? At least it's a double feature with another bad Mark Singer movie, Dead Space, on it, where he's got a wisecracking cyborg with him, which God. Oh, Ben Harley. God, jeez, man. What a week. What a week. Yeah, I'm sending myself off to Willow Creek after those turkeys.
Yeah, you better. I don't. Yeah.
Well, we can't find turkeys for this week because I'm going to have to watch him with Senior Danny Hicks. And he will not stand for a turkey.
Oh, wow. No.
Like, Danny, you're in The Demolitionist, man. Come on. Well, I don't like it. I just got paid for it.
Didn't say I like it.
Yeah. Right. So, all right, Mr. Ben Harley. Hopefully next week we have. Well, I'm going to report back from Willow Creek, so that should be okay.
I'm excited.
Hopefully that'll be good, and then we'll see what we can dig up to watch. Let's find something better than these turkeys here. So well, until next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.